on a warm summer's evening, on a train bound for nowhere. I met up with a gambler. We were both too tired to sleep, so we took turns of staring, and he began to speak. He said, "Son, I've made a life out of reading people's faces, knowing what the cards were by the way they held their eyes. So if you don't..."
Well, according to information on how the first people that inhabited Roatan was the Payan Indians. After that, it was, visited by pirates, by the Spanish pirates, by French pirates, different pirates. But anyway, the English then came on, and in 1740, French Harbour is founded as a community. The reason why it is called French Harbour, according to the stories that have been related, is that it was because of a Frenchman that lived here in this area for a while. And then as he, when they was asked of, where this place was, they would refer to it as the French Harbour, the place where the French guy lives. So that's where the name French Harbour comes. French Harbour has approximately at this moment about 3,500 people.
He said, "Son, I've made a life out of reading people's faces, knowing what the cards..."
25 to 30 years after that, the main economy in French Harbour was the industry. Since then, the tourism has begun bit by bit, and the fishing industry bit by bit has gone down, and then the tourism has beginning to rise in the Bay Islands of Roatan. Well, in French Harbour, we also have some of the late English architecture. We have houses dated back from as far as 1890, some in 1900, and we have even a temple, a church that was built for the Adventist organization from 1905, a church that still today exists and is still be used by the organization. Apart from that, we have other houses. We have a house up there where a man by the name of Mr. Astor McLaughlin built back in the early 1940s also. That's still there. Plus, it's different houses. And also we have the first concrete building in French Harbour that was used for a school for a while before there was here a school in which was taught Spanish, the Spanish language. And then also the same building was used on top for an area of dance. They can dance, can't say a hall, but an area of dance. They used to go up on top of the house top and dance. And the actuality is actually the house where I live in at this moment.
They don't like Wednesday morning.
But in French Harbour right now you can find, we have the English, the white people, the English descendants that lives in French Harbour, the center area, and then you have the black English, the English speaking black people that they lives on the area we call the hillside or La Loma. And then we also have then in the east part of French Harbour, which we call up the point, La Punta, is we have the Honduran Spanish speaking people. We have the Mosquito Indians, and then we also have the Garifunas. A combination of those three races of people lives more in the area of up the point.
He said, "Son, I've made a life out of reading people's faces, knowing what the cards were."
First of all, I want to say that French Harbour is a fishing community and one of the most successful fishing communities in the Caribbean back from 1960 until about 1990 approximately. And one of the touristic offers is a historic tour. And this historic tour, we are having an exhibition that aboard a shrimp boat that is actually working still. They're the fleet that is still working even up to this day. And the part of the tour is on board this the shrimp boat, and which is something that, because this is where our beginnings. This is how the Bay Islands actually the economic boost that we received from the 1960s to the 1990s was based on the fishing industry. But definitely we do have the culture house, Roatan Culture House, and it's the first one in the Bay Islands that has been established, and it's to recover the history, the culture. Also, it has its wing of education as far as the music and the arts and paintings and different things that it offers also to the young people in the community, historical accounts and arguments, that is of not just the English, but we have of the Hispanics, of the Payas, of the Lincas, of all the different tribes and ethnics that, of this country. So it's really a lot of information. It's something special, someplace special to come. So we would really extend our arms to all that see this to be sure and come to French Harbour Culture House.
He said, son, I've made a life out of reading people's faces, knowing what the cards
Well, in French Harbour we have a vast education system. Really, we have different institutes. We have the Arnold Ashley, we have the Merinos, we have the Adventist Institute, we have the Robin Barahon, and we have the Kingdom. And we also have a library with a vast amount of information, and also we have the university, the Universidad Nacional Autónoma of Honduras.
Son, I've made a life out of reading people's faces, knowing what the cards were.
We have a vast assortment of culinary delights in French Harbour. We have the original, typical local food. We also have some of the best restaurants that there are in Roatan. We also have our local crafts and art to offer to the tourists, So we would invite you to come to Roatan, come to French Harbour. Be sure if you come to Roatan that you come to French Harbour, because you can get the best of the best in French Harbour.
They held their eyes, so if you don't mind my saying, I can see you're out of aces. For a taste of your whiskey, I'll give you some advice. So I handed him my bottle, and he drank down my last swallow. You gotta learn to play it right. You got to know when to hold